In this video, we're going to jump into why I believe the projections is specific to the SBA, why I think it's a very valuable component when you're doing your due diligence on different franchise concepts. I'm going to walk you through the basic elements of putting together the projections for the bank. But I want to stress the point that I think it's very important, not just for the SBA loan requirements, but it helps you through the validation process as you're doing your diligence on this potential business opportunity that you want to get involved with. What's the average ticket price? Really shows you what the ramp up is. What's the cash flow burn? When will you start going from red to green, right? When are you going to start being profitable? When are you going to scale to the next truck or whatever, depending on the franchise concept? This is a crucial part of the discovery process. I hope this short video gives you some feedback on what to expect. And if you have any questions, feel free to go to bookwithbo.com, and I'd love to jump on a call with you and discuss SBA financing, the franchise process, how to identify the best franchise concept for you, and uncovering different opportunities in this sector. Anyways, hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you on the inside.
All right. Hello, everyone. I want to go over the projections process for SBA franchises. And for the purposes of this video, we're just going to talk about franchise startups. And this is like what I believe to be the most important drill to do once you've discovered a franchise opportunity and you're going down the path to discovery. You're starting to do your validation calls. The franchise concept's looking really intriguing at this point. And now you want to put the numbers down on paper. So this is what we would use for the SBA process. We would do some kind of projections template. Now, every bank's different. I personally like this one the best because I think it's just user friendly. So I'm going to walk us through kind of how I like to start. And what I love about this process really enables you as the potential franchisee to dive in and dig into the numbers a little bit more, which I think will bring you more confidence in whether you're making a good decision or not. So as you can see, they classify as the business a retail business. Is it a service business or manufacturing? Most of the time we're doing a lot of home service-based franchise models, flooring companies, painting companies, etc., handyman services, HVAC companies. So the first question you come to is how many customers and sales are expected in month one? So this is a great kind of starting point. Like, what is the realistic expectations once you go through you sign the papers, you close on the deal, you have your SBA loan in place? I mean, the first month, what's the expectations? And you're going to simply put it here. So let's just say it is a handyman service. And part of the validation process, as you're calling other franchisees in the system, is you're going to try to come up with what is the average ticket price for a service call. So for the purpose of this, we're going to say handyman service, and the average ticket price is $423. And that might be derived from some things you read on the FDD, but most importantly, you're going to validate with other franchisees in the system about that average ticket price. Now, keep in mind, for handyman services, it's going to vary from cities to states to locations, right? Then you're going to say, okay, well, you're going to start validating, well, how many customers did you get your first month? And let's say you talk to 2 or 3 franchisees in the system, and they kind of give you the first month we did 10 service calls, and the average ticket price you come up with is $423. And there you go. Then it's going to input it. So your first month's going to be $4,230. There's other income you can put in here. So this is the start of it. And then you're going to really go into year one. And on year one, you're going to go, basically the next step here is you've already reviewed the FDD. It's kind of an overwhelming document, lots of pages. But you're going to go to the section where it breaks down what are the expenses. We have a royalty fee on top line revenue of 7%. We have the software fees. We have these fees. You need to lease a truck. You need office space. Whatever those are, we're going to start identifying them on the next slide over here. So when we do these projections, you're going to simply put in your expectations for the first month. I forgot what the number is, but you get the point. 4,230, and you're going to plug it in. And then you're also going to come in and go, well, how do I figure out cost of goods sold? See, these are things you're going to validate. And this is why I think it's one of the most important parts is you really want to come in and know what your overhead is, what the reoccurring, what the insurance costs are. This is going to give you a lot of confidence. And then as you're going through and putting all the numbers in, you're figuring out, okay, well, month 2, what am I going to ramp up to? Oh, I went from 10 service calls. Now we got the marketing kicking in. Now we're going to do 20, or, we're going to double that because we're going to do 20 service calls. So, we're going to do 8,500. I'm just throwing numbers in there. All right. And then, so now by this time you have all the estimates for expenses. You have called insurance companies. What is the liability insurance? What's the car insurance going to be on the work trucks? And you start basically laying out the projections. Now, how does the business scale? So the business scales for this. I'm just using this handyman service. The business scales by going from 1 truck and 1 technician to 2 trucks and 2 technicians. So maybe, as you're doing your validations, well, when did you get your second truck, Mr. Other Franchisee? Well, we ramped up by month 6. We got our second truck. We hired our second technician. And then so you're going to adjust the numbers, right? You're going to have 2 trucks. You're going to have a little bit more expenses. And as you're building this out, you'll start seeing the numbers and how they correlate. And then when you hit your projections, by month 4 or 5 or whatever, you're going to start being in the green. And that's what you want to see. And then what's the debt service coverage ratio with the debt payment, right? This is going to calculate out on this sheet. So this worksheet is crucial. I'm not a spreadsheet guy myself, but I know this drill is very, very important for everyone to do and to walk through. It takes a little time, but this will give you the confidence, I believe, as you're going through to really evaluate the franchise brand, figure out the financing, making sure the financing is good. And then it really helps you validate with other franchisees in the system, because that's a big part of this process. Because we can look at the FDD, the franchise disclosure document, and we could see, some of the franchisors are disclosing on the section 19. They're disclosing their earnings, but really sometimes it doesn't really paint the picture. So this is the importance of really doing the projections. Plus, if you're getting SBA financing, this is what they want to see. And so I like to get people active in this process as soon as they're really interested in the brand, because this is really where you're going to see the potential and really figure out what the reoccurring costs are and what the overhead, what the cost of goods sold are. And this will really help you move forward. And as you're moving forward, it'll expedite the SBA process, because this is usually one thing that takes the longest for the potential franchisee or the candidate to go through, is really diving deep in this and understanding this. Other than that, if you pick the right bang for SBA, like on sub 350,000 total project costs, I've got a bank that's really good, very efficient, where we're able to close things in like 3 weeks, which is crazy because most other SBA lenders, you're going to be 60 days. And this particular bank does higher leverage. They'll go up 90% of total cost. So this is the projections in a nutshell. I'm not going over everything, obviously, but I wanted to just make you aware of the process. So really, when you're looking at different franchise concepts and then you narrow it down to 1 or 2 that you're definitely interested in, you can start going through this and then comparing both of the projections, comparing the overhead, what's the employee count, what's the payroll, what's the insurance differences on these different concepts I'm looking at. Because some of you might just want something simple. Some of you, we're going to do the same drill if you're buying a vending route. Anytime you're using SBA financing on a startup and even an acquisition, they want you to do projections. And I definitely think you'll get a lot out of doing the projections. The franchise process, to me, kind of walking you through, is initial conversation with a franchise consultant like myself, really conveying the messages of what you're looking for and understanding what you might not be aware of, because a lot of people come into the process thinking, oh, well, I'm going to buy a Subway, a quick service restaurant. But really, once they see the opportunities and the difference in total startup investment costs, what if you had a home-based, non-brick and mortar type of franchise with minimal employees, with great revenue potential? And so that's really the process in the beginning, is understanding the different sectors. There's literally over 3,000 franchises. So understanding the different sectors and then diving into the model understanding what you would do in that model. What would I do as the owner of this HVAC company or this handyman company? And I think doing that, and then as you're progressing with your due diligence, you're talking to an SBA broker. So if you come to me, I can give you advice on both things because I am a franchise broker and an SBA advisor. So I think that's kind of I know that's my competitive advantage to helping people, is that I know both sides and I can help you make decisions not only on what's feasible from an economic standpoint, how much capital you have, how much time you have, what kind of lifestyle, what kind of business. Because the demands of each of these different businesses could be very different. Some of them are geared more that you're going to be owner operator. Some of them are geared where you can put a general manager in place. And what's that going to look like for the numbers? So anyways, I just wanted to make this video just to stress the point that the projections in the beginning seem overwhelming, but once you dive into it, it's fairly simple and it'll help you understand the franchise concept that you're exploring 10 times better than you would ever expect. So this is a drill that most people don't talk about, but I do think is the most crucial part of the franchise diligence process as soon as you have identified one or two concepts that you want to move forward with. Hope that helps. We're hosting an event called Business Ownership Summit, and you can go to businessownershipsummit.com. It's a Saturday on March 2nd. We have conversations on business acquisition, franchise startups, top recurring revenue franchise models, emerging franchise concepts, franchising as an investment, to name a few. We're going to have somewhere around 15 speakers. It's a free event, so I highly recommend you come. You can go to businessownershipsummit.com. That's businessownershipsummit.com. And as always, if you want to have a conversation about identifying businesses, SBA financing, I'm happy to jump on a Zoom with you. You can go to bookwithbo.com. That's bookwithbo.com. Anyways, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you on the next episode. Hey guys, Bo Exine here, and I want to personally invite you to Business Ownership Summit. This is going to be the largest event I've thrown. It's online. It's happening March 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to be an all-day event. We have about 15 speakers coming. We have panels. We have breakout discussions. If you're looking to do a business acquisition or a franchise, this will be the event for you. So go to businessownershipsummit.com and RSVP before tickets are gone. This is free, and it's going to be action-packed, and you're going to get a lot out of it if you attend. So I hope to see you there. Hey guys, Bo Exine here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.